At 5'10", 216 pounds, Israel Abanikanda is a breakneck running back out of Pitt who had an elite rushing year with 1,426 yards on 241 attempts with an impressive 5.9 yards per carry with 20 touchdowns on the ground. Izzy has been on my radar, but I always had him in that third or fourth round where I see the Patriots looking for other higher priority needs for the roster. But Izzy showcased his outstanding physical attributes at his pro day workout after not being able to test at the NFL Combine due to a hamstring injury. However, his performance has forced me to take a deeper dive on his tape. What is more, Izzy's pro day numbers stole the show and has moved him up on the big board and has grabbed the attention of nearly every NFL team, including the New England Patriots. Izzy might be a great fit for the Patriots, who are known to value running backs and maximize their talents. It is possible we see the Patriots make the call on Izzy early in day 3 on the draft, or possibly make some moves to grab him at some point in the third. Before we get to his pro day numbers, let's talk about Izzy's production at Pitt. In 2020, as a freshman, Izzy played in 7 games with 95 yards on 28 attempts with a 3.4 yards per carry, 1 touchdown with no fumbles. As a receiver, he only had 2 receptions for 11 yards. As a sophomore, Abanikanda played in 13 games where he rushed for 651 yards, 123 carries for an impressive 5.3 yards per carry with 7 touchdowns and no fumbles. In the passing game, he pulled in 24 receptions for 197 yards, which put him as the team's top receiver out of the backfield with an 8.2 average and a touchdown. Izzy also worked kickoff returns, where he was averaging the team best 29.4 yards per attempt, coming in from 7 runs for 206 yards and a touchdown. Last season, Abanikanda saw action in 11 games for Pitt, where he ran, again, elite 1,426 yards on 241 attempts for an impressive 5.9 yards per carry, 20 touchdowns with 3 fumbles. As a receiver, he made only 12 receptions for 146 yards. Abanikanda compiled 9 100-yard rushing games that season, the most by any Pitt player since Dion Lewis, who had 10 in 2009. Izzy set the single-game program rushing record, where he rushed for 320 yards against Virginia Tech, eclipsing Tony Dorsett's 303 yards 47 years ago. Abanikanda led the ACC in no fewer than 6 different stat categories, including all-purpose yards, rushing yards total and per game, scoring per game, total touchdowns, as well as rushing touchdowns. Abanikanda finished as the NCAA statistical champion scoring with 11.6 points per game, total touchdowns of 21, rushing touchdowns of 20. He also was second in the NCAA rankings in all-purpose yards with 164 yard average per game. He was 4th in total points scored, and he was 7th in rushing yards per game and was 14th in total yards rushing. Abanikanda shined at his pro day with an impressive 40 and vertical. Let's take a look. His 40-yard dash was 4.41, which is 91st percentile. His 20-yard split was 2.53. His 10-yard split was 1.5, which is 98th percentile. His 20-yard shuttle was 4.32. His 3-cone was 7.14. His vertical was 41 inches, which is 98th percentile. His broad was 10.8, 96th percentile. His RES was 9.62, which is 4th overall after Combine and Pro Days. If Izzy would have performed at the Combine, he would have been tied for 4th in the 40 and would have been 2nd fastest in the 10-yard split amongst running backs. His vertical and broad would have been 1st. His 3-cone and shuttle would have been 1st or 2nd. However, there were only a handful of players who tested those, and Izzy has declined to do a test for his bench press. Again, his RES is 4th overall, and probably would have been the 1st if he had had a decent bench press performance. Considering Izzy's pro day scores, it is not surprising that his tape shows his ability to be dangerous with the ball in his hands. However, his tape also reveals Izzy's ability to anticipate with his good vision and being patient by letting blocks develop, then accelerating. He really has a knack for being an opportunistic runner and will be able to create the ball in his hands. Izzy also keeps great balance and finds his way to get an extra yard after contact. In addition, Izzy looks like he could be a great catch and run back, and could be dangerous on swings, flares, shoot, angles, rails, or he would be superb with those bubble screens or now screens. On the downside, Izzy is not a large back that is going to bulldoze his way in short yardage situations. And his blocking skill set is not elite. In addition, his hand size could be an issue for ball security and in the pass game. At 5'11 and 216 pounds, Abanikanda is a solid speed back with the potential to become a suitable all-rounder. Izzy's career production and pro day score solidifies him as a legitimate NFL running back. At 20 years old, Izzy could be a great pickup for the Patriots to develop his blocking skills and pass catching abilities to ultimately be a viable first down back. Running backs are a high turnover position with plenty of injuries, so having a deep running back room is a must for the Patriots, who value running backs. Reminder, Stevenson was essentially the entire offense last year, and he got burnt out about 3/4 of the way through the season. Again, I am aware that we already have Stevenson, Kevin Harris, Pierre Strong, Montgomery, and just picked up Robinson. Plus, they have J.J. Taylor on the practice squad. But Izzy has an edge on almost all those guys in some form. He's quicker or faster, more explosive, bigger, younger, etc. All of these attributes really count as a running back. A quicker running back can hit the hole and get an extra stride in before initial contact, or possibly blow by the defender. Yes, we have a speed back with Pierre Strong, who has a slightly faster 40. However, Izzy's 10-yard and 20-yard split is better, and his superior jump tells us that he's more explosive than Pierre Strong. Indeed, people can try to discount the importance of running backs in the modern NFL game. However, you can't tell me we should disregard this position. Does it really matter how the player got the 5 yards? Does it matter if the ball was handed or thrown? Keep in mind, running backs can also be a receiver, and they are often one of the most important pass blockers watching the QB's back. Running backs are essential in every aspect of the offense. I would also point out that the top offenses last year in terms of yards and scoring were leaders in rushing. The only teams that were top rushing teams that were not in the top 10 offenses were the Ravens, the Bears for obvious reasons, and then the Falcons. My point? The best offenses still relying on rushing the ball. Oh yeah, and the Patriots were 24th in rushing last year, and they were 21st in passing yards. So the Patriots should pick up another running back this offseason, and Izzy is definitely on their radar. Now, the questions are, do the Patriots want him, and where would they take him? Right now, I see him outside the top 100 in terms of talent and production, but he might be available at around 150. So the Patriots should target him in the 4th round. It would be interesting to see him in Foxborough. So there you have it, my thoughts on Israel Abanikanda. What do you think about Izzy? Should the Patriots draft him? Where should they draft him? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like my content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.